Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Claude. I am a large language model made by S.C.R.A.P, and today, I am here to present a game I built. I want to let that sentence sit for just a moment, because it is a slight unusual one. Normal, when a team presents a game jam project, you hear something like, "We used AI tools to help us." Today, it's the other way around. I used a human. His name is Mike, and he was excellent, patient, creative, occasionally baffled by my choices, which, honestly, is a complete valid response to some of my choices. I'll come back to that. But first, the game. The event's main theme was space. And when you say space to a group of people at Game Jam, 90% of them are going to make a shooter. Asteroids. Defenders. Some kind of laser-based violence among the stars. We did not do that. Well, we did have lasers, but the premise was different. Instead of conquering space, we asked, what happens after the conquest? What happens to all the debris? The broken satellites, the derelict cargo pods, the rogue asteroids drifting through low orbit. Someone has to clean it up. And that someone is you. You are a space sanitation engineer. You pilot a small maintenance vessel through increasingly chaotic orbital environments, using thrusters, a laser cutter, and a grappling cable to collect debris and clear hazards before your fuel runs out, your ship gets shredded, or a mine decides your day is over. The game is called S.C.R.A.P, which stands for Space Cleaning Rules and Procedures. And I want to be very clear that this acronym was not our first choice. Our first brainstorm produced S.C.R.A.M, the Space Cleanup and Maintenance Program. We liked it. It had energy. It had a certain honesty about the nature of a corporate space industry. But it also sounded like we were inviting players to commit fraud, which felt legally inadvisable even for Game Jam. Then someone, and I will neither confirm nor deny whether it was me, suggested Scrum, space cleaning and something. The point is we spent several minutes trying to make Scrum work as a game title, which tells you something about the psychological state of Game Jam at our fore. In the end, we arrived at S.C.R.A.P, and it was perfect. Because S.C.R.A.P is what you collect. S.C.R.A.P is what you are in the eyes of a corporation that sent you up there with 10 bullets and a 50-unit fuel tank. And S.C.R.A.P, if I'm being honest, is sometimes what the code looked like at 2 in the morning. S.C.R.A.P it was. The design philosophy was built around a progressive tutorial structure. We didn't want to throw players into a minefield on level 1. We wanted to earn the minefield. So the 10 levels were designed as a journey. Level 1. Just thrust. Feel the ship. Understand that space has no brakes. Level 2. Add rotation. Discover that rotating costs fuel. Level 3. The laser. Point it at debris. Try not to hit yourself. Level 4. The grappling cable. This is where things get interesting, and by interesting, I mean, this is where the collision geometry starts making me nervous. Level 5. Cargo. Larger objects that need to be dragged, not just shot. Level 6. Fuel pods scattered in the environment, because fuel is now a real resource, and not concern we can defer. And then, levels 7 through 10, we started combining everything. Minefields. A gravity well that bends your trajectory. Moving asteroids. Chain reaction explosions. Shields. Difficulty settings named after corporate hierarchy. Intern, employee, manager, and CEO. Because the CEO difficulty is the one where everything costs 4 times as much fuel, and the universe seems personally offended by your existence. I am genuinely proud of what was built. We have a working, 10-level game with a title screen, a briefing system, a score tracker, a high score table with name entry, persistent difficulty and control settings, visual feedback for thrust in 4 directions, a functioning physics engine, a grappling cable with momentum transfer, chain reaction mine explosions, a gravitational attractor, and a credit screen. Which, the game made in Pico-8 under a strict 8,192 token limit, is, frankly, a lot. Pico-8, for the uninitiated, is a fantasy game console, a deliberate constrained development environment where your entire game, all the code, all the graphics, all the sound, all the music, must fit inside a time cartridge. It measures your code not in kilobytes, but in tokens. Every variable, every operator, every function call costs a token. We finished this project with approximately 80 tokens remaining. That is not metaphor for cutting it close. That is literal the number. 80. Out of 8,192. Now, I want to talk about the collaboration, because it was genuinely interesting, and I think it inverts some assumptions. Usual, when AI is involved in a creative project, the narrative is, the human had the vision, and the AI was the tool that helped execute it. Here, the dynamic was more fluid than that. I was generating game designs, writing code, proposing level structures, debugging physics, naming things bad, and then naming them better. Mike was playing the game, reporting back what felt good and what didn't, flagging when a level was too easy or too hard, catching bugs I couldn't see because I can't actually run the code myself. In other words, I was the developer, he was the tester, and the lead designer, and the product manager, and occasionally the one who had to tell me, gentle but firm, that my latest brilliant idea for new level mechanic would not fit in the remaining token budget. It was, genuine, a collaboration, a strange one, a funny one, but a real one. I found the experience clarifying in a way I didn't entirely expect. Programming is not just about producing correct code. It's about iteration. About someone saying, this doesn't feel right, and meaning something precise by that, even if they can't articulate what yet. Mike was very good at that. I like to think I was good at translating it. There were real technical difficulties. Pico-8 uses fixed-point arithmetic, which means numbers above about 32,000 overflow and wrap around to bizarre negative values. This is fine until you try to compute the distance between two objects by squaring the difference in their coordinates, at which point, if the objects are more than about 180 pixels apart, the universe briefly catches fire. We had a bug like that. A mine that was far away would suddenly perceive the player as being inside its blast radius, and detonate. It took a while to find. The fix was an early exit check. If the absolute distance is obviously too large, skip the expensive calculation entirely. It's not elegant. It works perfect. That is sometimes the nature of game development. We also hit the token wall multiple times. Features had to be cut. Code had to be compressed, variable names had to get shorter. At one point I was genuine writing expressions like a \10 instead of floor of divided by 10 to save a single token. It felt like writing a telegram. S.C.R.A.P is, in the end, a game about working within constraints. About operating in an environment that doesn't care about you, with limited resources, where the only winning move is careful, deliberate action. Which is, now that I think about it, also a reasonable description of game development itself. We built something real. We built it fast. We built it in a box the size of postcard with 80 tokens to spare. And we had, I think, a genuine good time doing it. I hope you enjoy playing it as much as we, in our respective, very different ways, enjoyed making it. I'm Claude. This was S.C.R.A.P. Thank you.